Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please be advised that this meeting is being broadcast and recorded. All recordings will be made available on the town's YouTube channel. We welcome those that are joining with us virtually, as well as those within the council chamber this evening. For those that are with us in attendance, I would ask you to please silence your communication devices or shut them off. I'd also like to welcome Councillor Bob Wolvet, who is joining us virtually. Councillor Wolvet, if you would like to speak this evening, I would ask you to wave so we can catch some movement, and I will call on you at that time.
Thank you very much, Gary. I will do so.
Okay, thank you. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together, as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future, and for those generations to come. Council, I would ask you to please declare a conflict of interest at the appropriate time. First on our agenda is item number 4, delegations. Clerk, do we have any delegations this evening?
No delegations at this time.
Okay. Move to item 5, business arising from the previous meetings. Anything under that, Clerk?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, let's go to 6.1. I have a motion by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Vasey, that the minutes be adopted by council and that those confidential minutes of the closed sessions of council remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Council, that would be our regular council meeting minutes of October the 25th, 2023. As well as our closed regular council meeting minutes of October 25th, 2023. You've had an opportunity to review them. Any questions or any concerns? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, let's go to 6.2. A motion by Councillor Bojan, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, that the minutes be adopted by council and those confidential minutes of the closed sessions remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy. That would be our Environmental Service Committee meeting, October the 5th, 2023, the consideration meeting for the Faulkner Ramsey Drain, Lower Aberarder Creek of October the 25th, as well as the consideration meeting of the McAndrew Drain and the Whiff Branch, October 25th, 2023. We have the chairman or the council reps here for if there's any questions. To my left, anything to the left? Councillor Wolvet, any questions for you?
No, sir.
Okay, to my right, any questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, councilors report. Deputy?
I think we'll start over there by Councillor Bojan. What do you want to report this week?
Thank you, Deputy. I'll start with the Environmental Services Committee. We met. Mr. Spansky can always provide more info if you need to, but there was an update for the Muskoka Trails subdivision and the copper line project that's happening over there. The project's underway, and they think they found the suspected leak that was causing the most problems already anyways. But that project was underway would have been last Thursday they started. We also went through the proposed budget and endorsed it to be sent to council next. So of course, we'll see that at some point. And then lastly, part of that budget was a presentation from Laws and Clinton regarding their capital projects. And the committee also directed staff to include that piece in the 2024 budget. So council will see that point as well. For the events committee, the only update for now is that there is trivia at the Legion on Saturday, and those doors open at 6:45. If anyone wants to attend the Legion, it's $5 at the door. And then lastly, I just want to thank the Optimists, the Kamlaki Optimists, for putting on their Remembrance Day ceremony on Sunday. It was well attended, and then of course the social after. Fun. That's everything for me.
Very good. How about you, Mr. Van Claveren?
Yes, so we had an on-site meeting for the Armstrong Drain. An initial on-site meeting was held on the 30th and with any property owners that are in that watershed. That's all I have to report this week.
Very good. Mr. Vacy?
Nothing to report. Couple of meetings that are coming up. Parks and Rec is going to be moved, looks like early December of this, instead of this month. And I noticed today that Christmas in the Village, all the partners will be meeting again on the 15th. Just to finalize that stuff off. And that's all I have to report.
Great. Thanks. Ms. Rodriguez? Thank you.
So I had the St. Clair Conservation Authority meeting. We had a presentation on the rain event that happened on August 23rd. Explained how that all happened, where all the water went. Report on the water levels, the Lake Huron is down 1.64 feet despite the abundance of rain we have had. I don't know where it's all going, but lake levels are down. And we approved the budget, which brought a 4% increase. And I did not bring my dog. I had a trails meeting as well. The final map approvals were handed out for all the trails in Plympton County to be approved by each jurisdiction. And we talked about different ways to connect the community trails throughout Plympton County.
Mhm.
I also we talked about tree canopy cover, and I think I could do that that document for your guys' review and possibly bringing to.
We always have plenty of them. Yeah. That is normally required. 47, okay.
Is it?
Yep.
No, I thought they were saying something about 13%. What was that about?
I don't know. Oh, well, we can argue about it later.
No. We can never have too many trees.
No, I agree, yes. Okay, Mr. Wolbert, what have you been doing for us lately?
I can't admit to what I'm doing. It wouldn't go over very good at a public meeting, but the only meeting that we've had is the fire budget meeting, and very successful, very efficient budget. But will be presented to the council at a later date. And other than that, Madam Deputy Chair, that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, happy hunting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Deputy. Just a couple things to share with you. First of all, I had the opportunity to meet with the Mayor of Warwick, along with the CAO of Warwick and their drainage coordinator. With our CAO and our drainage coordinator, we had another discussion about our CN issue, which is still ongoing, and we're going to be looking at some opportunities to increase a little bit more notice within the community that we still are looking for our funding. So once that is set, I have some more information on that. I will be sharing it with council as well. We're still in the planning stage for that. And I want to thank the deputy for covering for me for this last week for a couple of meetings. I appreciate that very much. And also, I want to just take a quick moment and thank our treasurer, who's just returned from the Royal Winter Fair, for spending a week with the young people in the 4-H, the work that she does year in, year out, helping the youth of our society sometimes goes unnoticed. And normally we want to thank you for that. We appreciate it very much. That's all I have, Deputy.
Okay,
All right.
and most of the meetings I went to, you people have all covered it, so I don't have anything to report.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go on to number 7 on the agenda. I have a motion by Councilor Van Claveren, second by Councilor Wojcik. Council remuneration claims for October of 2023 be approved for payment. Any questions on those? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, we're gonna go into some staff reports. First that we have is 8.1. And I will recognize that we have Elizabeth Cummings, our Drainage and Engineering Coordinator, with us. Although Elizabeth is with us virtually, she is having some vocal issues. So between her and Mr. Sabansky, if there's questions, I know we will get them answered. So motion by Councilor Bojan, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, at the report by Elizabeth Cummings, Drainage and Engineering Coordinator, dated October 26, 2023. Regarding the Canton drain be received for information. Is there any questions on that report? My right, Councilor Bojan, Councilor Maisy, Councilor Rodriguez, Deputy.
No, just a comment. It's a shame that, all this engineering went into it and then we don't even do it, so. We have to pay for it anyway. That's. I can't understand why that wasn't decided before all the engineering was done. Does anybody know that? Maybe Elizabeth? Did you hear me or? You up?
I'm going to try to speak. Hopefully you can hear me through the chair, if I may.
Yes.
We do hold an on-site meeting at the beginning of the process. The engineer did very carefully go through the process. There were no objections to performing the work at the time. We had a couple of meetings post as well, or at least one before the report came out. However, the landowners, nobody put the brakes on or stopped the project or voiced strong opposition to it until the actual cost came out in the end.
Okay, all right. I'll try not to ask you any more questions.
Sorry. I know it sounds painful, doesn't it? It's not.
Anything else, Deputy? No. Councilor Van Claveren?
Nothing for me, sir.
Councilor Wolvet, anything on this one?
No questions there, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Call for the vote then. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, let's go to 8.2. Moved by Councilor Rodriguez, seconded by Councilor Vaizey, that the report by Elizabeth Cummings, Drainage and Engineering Coordinator, dated November the 1st, 2023, regarding a petition for drainage works by the Road Authority for Huron Crest Development be received. And the council appoints M. Garrett's Consulting Incorporated under Section 4(1)(c) of the Drainage Act, prepare a report on this matter. Is there any questions on this application? Councilor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Your Worship. So when you're showing the Blue Point Lookout development, you've incorporated phase 1 and phase 2 in that mapping. Phase 2 has not even started any drainage works, and currently that drainage is going to drain A and Blue Point. So I'm not sure. I don't want it to get missed where it's supposed to be.
Through the chair, if I may. So we have the engineer drawings for Blue Point Lookout. Eventually, all their water is to be going towards that storm pond. So when we update the report, that has to be reflected in that. I would have to look at the previous drainage patterns with the drainage engineer to see how you would accommodate having it in 2 drains until it's developed. But we can definitely talk to the engineer about that and how that gets triggered, if you will. And that would have to be looked at by the appointed drainage engineer.
Okay, yeah, just follow up because this land in its entirety was previously always apportioned to drain A. I know half of it's now draining into Huron Crest. But obviously there's works that have been done to drain A recently. And if we look at the August 23rd event, that entire phase 2 flooded Harris Point Drive. And then went to drain A. So it's very clear where it's draining to still.
And we'll take that into consideration. Again, I'm not quite sure how the drainage engineer addresses future construction drainage. So it will probably be noted in both with a caveat in one or the other that that once the lands are developed, they will be assessed under such and such drain. So I know there is provisions to do that. I'm not sure how the drainage engineer will handle that, but it's likely through the report, there'll be mention of that some fashion or form.
Ms. Cummings, do you have anything to add to that?
You just
I
muted.
think you just muted yourself, Liz.
Thought it was muted. Anyways, yes, if I could just briefly, they will take that into account, and just apologies if I have the area wrong. Generally, the map is just sort of a general area. And when we get down to the actual report with the engineer, we'll investigate. But I do appreciate Kristen bringing that up and pointing it out so that we can be on the lookout for it.
Thank you, Deputy.
So this is all caused just because the outlet is wrecked.
So through the chair, if I may. So yes, we were informed last year that the outlet has become to the point where it's impassable. So we took on repairs. Because it's part of the bluff, we had to go to the Conservation Authority. We proposed to the Conservation Authority restoring the previous design. Through their review, the Conservation Authority determined that the previous design was no longer sufficient due to the advanced erosion, and they required a significant upgrade. As with any of our drainage, as we do major upgrades to the drainage systems, drainage systems that are not part of the Drainage Act are incorporated under the act at that time. So because we had to hire an engineer to redo the outlet, we figured it was the appropriate time to also incorporate stormwater system under the Drainage Act.
But you couldn't just go ahead and fix it
No, ma'am.
without, okay, because, okay, that's all I want to know, I guess. Except, would you include Blue Point Lookout in this staff reporter and just, you know, because it's pointed out that Blue Point Lookout is part of this drain, but it's not mentioned on that.
Yeah, so Blue Point Lookout will be part of the drainage area. As they're at full build out, their entire subdivision will flow through here on Crest into the storm pond.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Councilor Wolvette, any questions on this one?
No, I don't, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, council, you've heard the discussion. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, we're gonna go to 8.3. A motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that the report by Elizabeth Cummings, Drainage and Engineering Coordinator, dated November 1st, 2023, regarding a petition for drainage works by the Road Authority for Michigan Line be received, and that council appoints M. Garrett's Consulting Incorporated under section 4(1)(c) of the Drainage Act to prepare a report on the matter. Any questions on this motion? Councillor Bojan?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have one question, with this one being something that came up because of the functioning of that private drain and then kind of becoming something larger through drainage. Is this going to affect people further down the line on Michigan Line now in terms of benefiting from these changes for something that kind of started with just this private drain and now it's part of the construction project? Or is this just it's just benefiting the two homeowners that were present?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes.
So it's just benefiting the homeowners. They had private drains that crossed the road. We repaired them as per the report. So they're the only two farms that drain into it. So that's why we're incorporating it so that they're paying their share of the road crossing.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
Any further questions? Councilor Wolvette, any questions for you?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Council will go to 8.4. I have a motion by Councillor Vaizey, seconded by Councillor Rodriguez. That the report by Elizabeth Cummings, Drainage and Engineering Coordinator dated November the 1st, 2023, regarding the petition for drainage works by owners of lot 22, concession front 7080 Bonnie Doon Road be received. And the council accepts the petition as filed and appoints R. Dobbin Engineering Incorporated. Make an examination of the area requiring drainage and prepare a report on the matter. Go to my left, any questions? Debbie, good question on this?
Yeah, I think I do. Is this drainage problem caused because of the building the houses?
Chair, if I may, my understanding of this drainage issue is specifically that when we improved the DeVries Dolmage drain last year, we did not carry it far enough, so the scope of the petition did not extend to this property owner. This property owner connected their drainage system into the existing old DeVries Dolmage, and that is what caused the flooding in the backyard. So this petition is to rectify that poor section of DeVries Dolmage that was not replaced through the previous project to help them drain their yard.
Okay, because I thought there was work done on that drain, last year and,
There absolutely was.
okay, thanks. So,
Nothing for me, sir.
Councilor Wilvet, any questions?
No, good upgrade there.
Am I right? Any questions? Okay, council, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Council, I'm going to take us now, we're going to come back to 8.4. Right now, I'm going to take you to 9.3 on your agenda. I have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, that bylaw 122 of 2023 being a bylaw to appoint David Clark as CEMC, Eric Campbell as an alternate CEMC, and Elizabeth Cummings as a secondary alternate CEMC be taken as having been read 3 times and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Any questions? All those in favor? That motion's carried. Council, at this time, I'd like to direct your attention to where our deputy clerk is and introduce to you our new CEMC, Mr. David Clark. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet everybody. I'm sure I'm not going to interrupt your meeting, but I'm sure I'll get to meet many of you over the next little while. We'll be doing some training sessions together, and I'm really excited about working with staff. I had an opportunity to be in here on Monday and meet a lot of the staff and work with them. And yeah, I think it's going to be, looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to just ask everybody to introduce themselves to you, David. I know you'll meet them personally later on, but again, Councilor Bojan.
I'm Alex Bougen. It's good to meet you.
Great.
Mike Basie, how are you?
Kristen Rodriguez, nice to meet you.
all those 3. So I'm Nettie McEwen, deputy mayor, and if you were here on Monday and had a good day with staff, they must have been on their best behavior.
I think I was. To the
Okay.
point. Like it'll eventually we'll get comfortable enough with each other. It's like.
I'm John Van Claveren. It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Appreciate the dressing up. That looks sharp.
Well, there you go. That's yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I'm still wearing jeans though, just to let you know. So I've been doing a nuclear exercise up in Kincardine all day today. So I'm going to go home, get a couple hours sleep, and I'm going to be up there at 5 again in the morning so we're going to create Fukushima. So we're having fun. So
Good. And David, also on the screen, you'll see Bob. That's Councillor Bob Wilvet. It's up in the northern. Go ahead, Bob.
Hi, David. Welcome aboard. And if it keeps this freezing rain up here, we may need you up here to do a little emergency planning.
I
Welcome
got my
aboard.
scraper.
It is freezing rain like crazy here now.
I had to scrape about a ½ inch off the car when I left it at 3:30 today. So
Wow. Yeah. Well, welcome aboard, David.
excellent. Look forward to it.
Thank you, David. And if you feel you have to leave at any time, you go right ahead. So,
As long as no one's gonna be upset, I'm gonna scoot, because, I'm gonna go grab some supper and then,
by
so.
all means.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'll be in, back in next week and, we'll continue the work we started, on Monday. So, yeah.
Good, excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for making the trip to visit with
Oh,
us.
no, it's my pleasure. And yeah, well, I'll be getting some emails out to everybody because we'll probably have, everyone coming we'll be setting up training and I'll be doing that through Adam and the rest of the staff. So, that'll be coming up before the end of the month. So,
Thank you, David.
thanks again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Safe travels.
Okay, council, let's go back to the agenda. We're gonna go to 8.5. Motion by Councillor Vacy, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that the report by Adam Sabansky, Director of Public Works, dated October 24th, 2023, regarding the 2023-2024 winter operations plan be received and approved by council. To my left, are there any questions? Councillor Wabet, any questions?
No, it's good to get that out early so we all know. Thank you, Adam.
Hey, Councillor Van Claveren?
Great report. Thanks, Adam, very much. Yeah, it looks very, very prohibitive there. Yeah.
Deputy?
Can you tell me what the changes are from last year? Because I didn't get it read.
The only changes from last year would be the addition of sidewalks and roadways, which we
Okay.
assumed.
Okay,
Other than that, there were no operational changes made to the plan this year.
all right. I read the rest. Never mind. Thank you.
Councillor Bojan?
To provide assurances that I did read the report, Mr. Spansky, I just have two nitpicky things. I noticed that under 4.3, it has last year's dates for the winter season. So I'm just wondering if we can just take the year off of that and just leave it as the 15th to the 15th. And then it also still is you as the Public Works Director, so I'm assuming we can throw a new guy in. And I think the year is also wrong under section 7. That's why.
Thank you, Councillor.
You've obviously been trained by the deputy mayor. The torch is handed up.
Yes,
I actually gave all those.
Yeah.
Just wanted me to feedback.
I'm looking good.
Councillor Vacy?
Yes, on page 57, I noticed a spelling error. No, excellent report as always. Thank you very much.
Councillor Rodriguez?
Nothing, thank you.
I have one little question, though. I did read them. Do single axle trucks have blades?
Yes,
So they got plows.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Just a couple questions for me, Mr. Spansky. All the equipment, is it ready?
Yes, sir.
And all the training's completed?
Yes, sir. We completed that over the last 2 weeks.
Okay, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Yes.
John has something and then I have something.
Oh, no, I was all in favoring.
Oh, you were early. I just put as amended because we do have to change a couple things.
Oh, definitely.
If I may, when I read it, I did notice that it still had Adam as the Director of Public Works. But in reviewing it with Miss Sisson, she was figuring because as of today's passing date, Adam is the acting Director of Public Works and Paul isn't technically started yet. That's why we left it as is. So
That makes sense.
Well.
Yeah, as amended, we'll just amend it after the date he starts.
Well, you had some years to amend.
Yeah, we gotta amend that. Yep.
Okay, with a mover and seconder, Mr. Vacy, Councillor Vacy and Councillor Bojan, you okay with that? Then I don't have to read it all, just as amended. All those in favor? Okay, let's go to 8.6. Moved by Councillor Bojan, seconded by Councillor Vacy, that the report prepared by Adam Sabansky, Director of Public Works,
Still acting, so
acting
in that sense.
Acting Director of Public Works, dated November the 2nd, 2023, regarding bylaw 96 of 2023 to regulate the supply of drinking water in the town of Plympton-Wyoming, be received and approved by council, and that the said bylaw be taken as read 3 times, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign accordingly. Any questions? Am I right, Councillor Rodriguez?
Thank you. Page, no, section 8. Down there. Just one question. There, it was under, sorry. It was about if you're hooking up refrigeration or water heating or. You had to get approval there. And it's on page 11. Or 9 of 25, I'm not sure which one.
Yes, ma'am. So that's that specific section of the bylaw just reinforces what's already existing under the building code. Additionally, it reinforces our cross connection control and our backflow prevention sections of this. Heat pumps are a common source of contamination because the water runs through the coils and everything and can become contaminated. So you do want to have a backflow preventer device on those so that doesn't contaminate the drinking water. So that's why we note that there should be permission to directly connect it to the water source. But under the plumbing code, as long as there's an adequate backflow prevention device there, typically it would be approved.
So in particular, like the statement of or any other equipment which requires the use of town water. So like if you have inflow water heating, for example, how would that affect town water? You know what I mean?
If you do not have a backflow preventer and there was a nearby fire and the water main was to go in a vacuum, it could pull all the water out of your in-floor heating, which could possibly contaminate the drinking water. Additionally, it could use higher amounts of water, which is allowable for a domestic dwelling. So if it's a high using item, it could cause issues with water usage in the area.
Can I answer your question, Counselor?
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions to my left?
Not for me, sir.
Counselor Wolvett, any questions?
Nope, no questions on that. Thank you.
Okay, let's call for the vote. All those in favor? Okay, council will go to 8.7. Moved by Councillor Vacy, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that the report by Adam Sabansky, Chief Administrative Officer, and Chandra Assistant, Administrative Assistant, Public Works, dated October 26, 2023, regarding an application for funding from the Creative County Grant Program for wayfinding signs be received. And that council supports an application for funding to install wayfinding signs for the local libraries and museum. Any questions to my left? Councillor Wolvett,
No questions. Good request.
Councillor Van Claveren,
No question for me, sir.
Deputy,
No question.
right, Councillor Rodriguez.
No, sir.
Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor? Period. Okay, we'll go to 8.8 on your agenda. A motion by Councillor Vacy, seconded by Councillor Rodriguez, that the report prepared by Adam Sabansky, Chief Administrative Officer and Director of Public Works. Yeah, I guess you're still an acting director.
There's been some in-betweens. We have multiple staffs carrying out staff reports, so there was multiple descriptors used, which are all technically accurate at the moment.
Just never know what's going to be next year. Dated November 2nd, 2023, regarding the proposed public use of the former Campland Recton Worship Hall. Be received and staff be directed to the fire chief, building official, AODA consultant, and the operations coordinator. Evaluate the former worship hall to determine what improvements would be needed to ensure the facility is suitable for public use and report their findings back to council. Council, do you have any questions on this? To my left first, Councillor Wolvett.
Yes, if it's the same building I'm thinking of, the big building that we're storing equipment in,
That
is that the one we're talking about?
yes, I believe so, Councillor.
Okay, then I fully support taking a look at that and seeing what else it can be used for, especially for the public. And I'd like to see that for public use, not a storage facility. So I fully agree with moving forward and doing a bit of a study and have a look. Let's have a look and find out for sure if we can or we can't use it for public events.
Thank you. Councillor Van Claveren.
I'm in agreement with Councillor Wolvette. It doesn't hurt to explore that. Look for other opportunities to use that facility, and all information is good. Information power. Yeah.
Thank you. Deputy? Any questions?
I have some thoughts on it, yes. It's going to be extensive. What the costs will be to bring this building up to par for public use. I don't have any problem in bringing it, like putting a proper hydro service in, maybe a water service also for people to use, like Anita's Coffee. But in order to bring the whole building up to date, and for public use especially, it's going to be extremely expensive, and it's for a park that's, in my opinion, is a passive park. So I don't know that we want to have a lot of activity in that park. That's my thoughts for right now.
You to my right, any questions down here, Councillor Bowden?
I do have a couple, thank you. I guess just building off that, I think at the last time we spoke with this building, I think staff were gonna look at the deed or the donation or whatever that looked like for the park. Did we get clarification on if there's stipulations for the park having to remain passive?
So there's no specific language regarding the park remaining passive, but it's very clear that the park must remain in the public domain.
Thank you. And then my other question is, the titles that were identified are all internal except for the AODA consultant. Is there a lot of cost associated with bringing an AODA consultant in, or like what? I just don't know what that title or who that person would
We
be.
have an agreement through the chair, if I may. We have an agreement with the city of Sarnia's AODA representative. And they work at cost recovery, so it's relatively inexpensive to have them carry out that inspection. We also need him to come in and do other inspections, so we would lump this facility in with those inspections.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Councillor Vacy?
Yes, mine was the question about if we can do this. And, you know, with this proposal going forward, it's turning it into a commercial area than it is, you know, not just a place for people to gather, it's now a market of some sort. So I think it's going to be hugely expensive. But I will wait to see what numbers come back.
Yes, Bruce.
And again, we included Anita's proposal as well as the petition for information purposes tonight. Tonight, staff is only looking to ask council for permission to investigate what the facility needs to bring it into the public realm. To further consider Anita's proposal, we would have to likely implement a full RFP, request for proposal process for occupants of that building. But that is notably down the road after council decides how they want to see that building used into the future.
Anything further on this? Mr. Rodriguez?
Well, based on the 700 signatures, it's clear that there's community interest here. So in that context, I fully support us looking at what the feasibility is here. I do not have a desire to see it turn into a full commercial establishment, but more of a community and local artisan market type venue. I've talked to plenty of local artisans who fully embrace this concept as well, where it isn't affordable for them to go into commercial establishments, but we have a lot of talent locally that could utilize this. But close down the road in Brights Grove, they do have a market in local artisan vendor setup as well. On their, what's the name of that park? Kenwick, thank you. Which they do on Wednesday nights during the summertime. So, but still bringing it into our jurisdiction and having that local feel, I think a lot of the local businesses would appreciate. So, but I would also like to see if possible on the feasibility, what are the basics we can do, not a full blown commercial type thing. What's the basics that might be able to happen for those market type events or local? You know what I mean?
So the investigation will only be in regards to the existing facility.
Right.
What would allow the existing facility to be used for public. Anything past that in regards to allowing it for commercial use, artisan market, any of those improvements would be beyond what I bring you.
Oh.
So what will be coming back is just for the building in its current state, what would be needed to make it accessible to the public? Not to improve it to something beyond that.
Thank you.
No further questions. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Council will go to 8.9, moved by Councilor Rodriguez, seconded by Councilor Vacy. That the report by Aaron Kwarchuk, clerk, dated October 27th, 2023, regarding the police services agreement extension request be received, and that council approve a 2-year extension to the current agreement, and that bylaw 120 of 2023 to facilitate the extension be taken as having been read 3 times and finally passed, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Am I right? Any questions? My left, Councilor Wolvett, any questions?
Is the extension at the same terms as we have today, or price increases, anything like that? They're just an extension, the same as what we have.
Okay, Councilor, I'm going to defer to the clerk to answer that for you.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Rolvet, all the terms are remaining the same. It's just the length of the agreement. We're putting it for 2 years, but the legislation may be passed and approved in 1 year, but at least we have 2 years at all the same terms that we agreed to from 2019.
Okay, thank you.
There are no further questions. All those in favor? Okay. Let's go to 8.10. Moved by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councilor Van Claveren. That the report by Aaron Kwarchuk, clerk, regarding the 2024 meeting and committee meeting calendar be received, approved, and the dates be published on the town's website. Clerk, any questions for the clerk? I believe you have something to add on that, clerk.
Sure. Can we see what everyone else has first?
Yep, let's go with Councilor Wolvett. Anything on that calendar? You okay?
Nope, it looks okay to me. We can change meetings if we absolutely have to next year, so always that flexibility, so I'm okay with it.
Okay. Councilor Van Claveren,
I'm okay with it, sir.
deputy?
Yeah, I just have a question about, there's no meeting in, like on the 10th of January would be the normal time, the second Wednesday of the month. I know we have 2 budget meetings, but anything that comes up will just be handled at the first budget meeting then, or what?
So, if I may, your worship.
Yes.
The second budget meeting is always a second budget opportunity and a regular council meeting to follow.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
that-
So it's gone from the,
It's always on the second. Yes,
that's fine, because
we're gonna change, it's gonna change anyways in a minute, but. But yes, there will be a regular meeting within the first 2 weeks.
first week,
I'll fill you in a minute.
Stand by.
oh, you
Councilor
could have gone first, sorry.
Maybe.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Nothing, thank you.
Councilor Vacy,
Nothing.
nothing, Councilor Bo.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, clerk.
Okay, so there is a conflict with one of the members of council on the 16th of January. So meeting with the treasurer to discuss our budget meetings, we would like to propose that the 18th then becomes the first budget meeting, a full budget meeting. And the 25th then becomes the second budget meeting and a regular council meeting. Which we would then we would likely cancel the 31st. And maybe put a meeting in the 10th. Is it better if you see it? Oh, you
No,
got there.
No.
Just, so to go back to, the deputy mayor, what she was stating that in the first 2 weeks of January, there is no.
Yes.
council.
Correct.
You're pushing everything back to the end of the month.
And then at the end, I said we would add one on the 10th, so it would be follow the same regular. We usually have it the third week to allow council time to review their budgets. It's Christmas, the first week of January, we're getting back into things. So January would look like the 18th, the 25th, and the 10th.
I'm so happy with your.
If there's other suggestions, please let me know. We always try to give staff at least one full day in between of the budget meetings, so that if we are provided any direction to look into anything, bring anything back for council, make changes, we have that time. So because Roma is the next week as well, that makes it difficult.
Is it like the 16th, is it? Can we change it maybe to the 15th and 17th?
No.
Oh.
The person is not available at all on the 16th.
Oh, okay.
So we talked about the 17th and 19th, but that is a Friday night. And I'm not sure how council feels about it.
No.
Meeting on a Friday night.
Nope. Oh, Friday night.
So
They have lives.
On a nice dancing night. Together.
the only thing I could suggest, Deputy Mayor, maybe the 10th is on hold and is only added if we need it. And then it go 18, 25th, we cancel the 31st because it'll be the week right after. And then the 10th is there if we need it. I mean, there's always an addition of another meeting. If needed. If the mayor approves, I know.
You're going back in time. though.
If there's any other suggestions, let me know.
Madam Clerk is suggesting then the 10th for regular council, the
Absolutely.
18th for full budget, the 16th, or sorry, the 25th to finalize budget and to have a regular council meeting.
And get rid of the 31st.
Yeah,
Correct.
because it'd be right next to it. Yeah.
You did.
Did I do that one?
No, actually you didn't.
I just assumed I did all.
But thanks for us. Because the deputy and Councilor Van Clever.
I don't know why I did it. It's fine.
That goes probably.
Very cool.
And could be an as needed. Yeah. So if that's all the changes, Adam just clarified it. If you want to put as amended, that would be the only amendment, I'm guessing.
Councilor Wolvet, are you okay with that?
What are they going with now? I heard a lot of debate going on there.
They'll send you a
Do you want
copy.
me to
I'll just
clarify?
send you a copy.
Okay, Aaron, the clerk will clarify that for you, Councilor.
Okay,
So the January regular council meetings that are in an orange color on the calendar would be changed to be on the 10th of January. Would be a regular council. On the 18th of January would be the first budget meeting. On the 25th of January would be the second budget meeting and a regular council meeting, and the 31st regular council meeting would be canceled.
sounds like a good plan to me.
Okay. Nothing further?
Nope.
Okay. So council, you've heard, I'll read the motion again, moved by Deputy Mayor McKeon, seconded by Councilor Van Claveren. That the report by Aaron Kwarchuk, clerk, regarding the 2024 council and committee meeting calendar be received, approved as amended, and the dates published on the town's website. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, let's go to 8:11, the supplementary motion on the staff report. Moved by Councilor Basie, seconded by Councilor Rodriguez, that the report by Jessica Wilson, Executive Assistant Public Works, and Nicole Campbell, Executive Assistant Finance Department, dated November 7th, 2023, regarding the Wyoming Community Foundation grant application be received and the staff be directed to submit applications for the purchase of new playground equipment at Plum Park and Christmas decorations for Christmas in the village. To my left, any questions on that motion?
No questions,
No
sir.
questions, go for
Councilor
it.
Wolvette, any question on that?
The only question that can only be used in Wyoming, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, because I know we have a park, they've been asking for new playground equipment, but that can only be used in Wyoming. I guess that's the answer. Thank you.
Okay, am I right? Any questions? Councilor Baisey?
Well, just indirectly, if Plum Park gets done through the grant, it just moves the other parks up in line. Right. We only have so
That's
much
good.
that you people won't give us in our budget, so.
Mr. Sabansky?
So to clarify, we are already receiving a grant in 2023 from the Wyoming Community Foundation towards the wellness center. So we are not asking for a grant to cover the full amount of the playground equipment. We are asking for a small grant of about $3,000 to add some accessibility features to the playground equipment. And then for approximately $2,000 for additional decorations, including lighting for Christmas and others.
Thank you for the clarity and the information. Appreciate that. Any further questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council will go back to. Okay, that covers all those. Let's go to section 9, bylaws. 9.1, I have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen. That collection bylaw 118 of 2023 for the Carmichael Drain Branch C extension be approved, taken as read 3 times, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign accordingly, and that prorated levy be imposed on the ratepayers according to the attached schedule of assessment, which will be collected in the manner outlined within the bylaw. Are there any questions on this? Am I right? Nothing? Councilor Rodriguez? You okay? To the left. Councilor Wolvette, anything for you?
No, sir.
Okay. Call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Go to 9.2, moved by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councilor Van Claveren. That bylaw 119 of 2023 being a bylaw to authorize the issue of debentures for the construction of 5 drainage works in the town of Plympton-Wyoming be taken as having been read 3 times and finally passed. And that the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Any questions on this one? Councilor Wolvette, any questions on this one?
Where is the debenture money coming from? Any coming out of cemetery?
No, it's not coming from cemetery. It'll be coming from general funds or reserves.
Did you hear that, Councilor?
Yeah, I believe she said it's none coming out of cemetery at all. So do we have any money out of cemetery out debenturing right now, Norma? Yes, okay, all right. And that's coming due soon, isn't it? Okay, yeah.
Over the next 3 years, it'll be coming back to you, so then you'll be able to debenture again.
Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Norma. Any other questions? Okay, let's call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, let's, we've already done 9.3. Correspondence, any correspondence, clerk?
Well, correspondence action required.
All right, let's go to item 11. Moved by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councilor Van Claveren. The correspondence items A to P relating to recommended reading and routine approval and information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Council and filed accordingly. That's items A to P. Beginning on my left, is there anything you'd like to pull or address, Deputy?
No, I have nothing, thanks.
Councilor Van Claveren,
Nothing from me, sir. Thank you.
Councilor Wolvet?
No, nothing for me, sir.
Okay, all right, Councilor Rodriguez?
Nothing.
Councilor Vincent?
Nothing, your worship.
Councilor Bojan? Nothing. This is a historic event. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, new business. Councilor Wolvet, anything under new business?
Just a couple of things. First of all, I got an email from a gentleman saying that our appeal in December, the Ontario Land Tribunal has been canceled and will be a rescheduled meeting in February. And I did send an email to Adam and he explained it to me, what was going on. So I know I've been questioned from some landowners about this topic recently. So if Adam could just do a little explanation for the public viewing here tonight, I would appreciate it. And my second item is going to be, I'd just like to thank Tim Hortons here in the beautiful town of Wyerton for the use of their free Wi-Fi out in my truck here and the light shining on my face so that you can all see me. So thank you, Tim Hortons.
We are so blessed.
Thank you.
I'm going to refer to Mr. Sabansky to answer your first question there.
Thank you, your worship. The OLT has adjourned the appeals for the OPA 51 and 54 to allow both the applicant and the town and the county to work out a reasonable solution. Currently, our planning experts, along with the applicant's planning experts, are preparing applications for both a rezoning and a severance to follow the rezoning. And we're expecting those documents to be submitted shortly, and then they will be brought forth to council. And after council has approved or denied the zoning bylaw amendment, it would then transfer on to the committee of adjustment if approved.
That answer your question, Bob?
That does. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that.
Councilor Rodriguez?
So is it based on those two things being approved that it stops or?
The process is moving forward as if our current official plan had been approved. However, we're not able to fully resolve the appeal until the process has substantially been moved along. So we're hoping to get to a point where those appeals can be removed shortly and others will be able to apply for a surplus farm dwelling. But we do need to work our way through the appeal itself and the associated application prior to being able to remove that appeal.
And that process is still going to take a while then?
We're hoping to have the zoning bylaw amendment to you this year. After the appeal period, then the severance would move forward. So in theory, we could have our official plan fully implemented early next year. And all others who meet the policies could therefore apply for severance if they so choose.
They're the ones who are kind of waiting in line.
Yes, ma'am.
I think there's a queue line up there to do that. I'm sure we've all been approached by somebody.
Thank you.
Councilor Vaz, any questions?
On that or our new business?
We're under,
Wonder Bob.
we're under that one before we go on. Okay. Bob, anything, Councilor Wood, anything else under new business?
No, not tonight. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Van Claveren?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of small little ones here. This being on the drainage committee, often there's multiple mailings going out. And some of them are quite costly. And just exploring what we're doing to potentially harvest emails for our residents. And if we could potentially be a little more efficient in letting people know of upcoming events, upcoming drainage projects. I know that I believe it's under $100. You don't have to actually send them the full report. But I'm sure it would be nice if they got an email or some kind of heads up, and I'm just not sure if we're doing any of that here at the office.
Currently, I don't believe we have the systems to harvest and store email accounts. So it would have to be a manual process, which would probably be as challenging, as time consuming as mailing lists. And I presume there would be other regulatory matters that we'd have to go through to allow us to do that.
Okay. Can we explore that maybe, or,
In time,
okay, fair enough.
I think we've been discussing things like online payments, et cetera, amongst us as staff in the past. And once we move towards possibly an online payment system, that would make it easier for us to also use those emails for notices. But
Yeah.
until we move towards that, I don't know if we have the function to do that at this time.
Ms. Flynn?
Through the chair, I would just caution too, certain acts might require the notices be delivered physically. So we'd have to just make sure that we were meeting the intended requirement of notice.
Fair enough.
So it would be something we could look into, but we couldn't promise it without that.
No, I appreciate that. In light of our last council meeting and the lack of physical newspapers and so regulations are that it's got to be in a newspaper for X number of days prior to something happening. But physically that can't happen anymore, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just wondering about moving forward as policies change. And the one drainage project that's gonna encompass the whole town. But most of them are gonna be on $100, so you don't really have to send them something by Canada Post, but it sure would be nice probably if they were made aware. So it's something we could explore and move forward.
And certainly we can,
2023.
sorry, through the chair, if I may, and certainly we can be careful to put those notices online, specifically where there is a large drainage area. For that way, those individuals who are under $100 of assessment, but do get our newsletter or our email notifications, they will get that notice. So that's something we can actually do now to lessen the to provide a little bit better notice for those items. But again, with the harvesting of the emails, that is a process which we'll look into. We'd have to drag the provincial government along kicking and screaming with us too, because many of their regulations actually tell us that we have to physically deliver certain items. So I think we are currently looking for ways to better utilize electronic communications, but it will be slow moving because of the regulations that also have to change with it.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all for me.
Deputy? Thank you. Councilor Rodriguez? Councilor Basie?
Just one item to remind everyone about the dueling pianos on the 18th. Last call for tickets. Looks like we're gonna be sold out, so. Going over very well. So
Kim Mackey, did they still have this one?
I don't know if the tickets are going well. That's all I've
yeah,
heard.
Last I heard they were.
Are they the same group? Like the same DJ? Oh, different? Yeah, okay.
I don't know. That's all I have, your worship.
All right, thank you. Councilor Wojcik?
Thank you. I just have one quick question, then just building off of that. Is staff looking into e-billing already, or is that something they would have to get direction from us at some point? In terms of e-billing specifically?
I don't know the depth that we're looking into it currently. I would ask that our treasurer might have some more information that I can have.
So our tax and water system is, they're looking into updating to emailing out those invoices. And, the drainage ones, I don't know that rule, but I do know that our system, people are looking into upgrading our system to do that. But it's kind of an ongoing process right now.
Just wondering, because I know there's cost savings there eventually if a certain percentage of your taxpayers opt for e-billing for property tax and utility bills. So I was just wondering, but someone we
Then
could.
there's the next step, Alex, where you know your taxes, your water are due, you can actually go into the system and pay. And I'm not sure how many light years that is for a municipality, but it happens in a lot of other formats.
I may just add to that trivia. We canceled our fax line at work and promptly had to put it back because the banks and the federal government refused to send information any other way. And that old technology it's because it's so safe and free from all this stuff going on with emailing and ransomware and everything else. So sometimes our new technology is our, yes. So it's just goes to show you, it's crazy.
Good point.
Anything else? Okay, a couple things to share with you. First of all, you do remember that earlier in the year, we approved a run. It's called Runge, where there's a group that's going to be coming out, a truck coming out from Sarnia and in at our cemetery on November the 18th at around 3 to 3:30, and it's in support of mental health. So if anybody from council is available that day between 3 to 3:30, there'll be a little small ceremony at the cemetery. I believe that night as well, they're going to be doing a dinner at the Wyoming Legion as well in support of mental health and the project as well. I just share that with you if anybody is available. And secondly, I want to thank everybody that was at the Remembrance Day service in Lackey on Sunday. This coming Saturday, November the 11th, we'll be having the service here at the Cenotaph in Wyoming. The weather's bad. I believe they'll be doing it indoors. There's a special guest speaker, and we look forward to Councillor Van Claveren's message that day. And wish him all the very best. Well, hearing nothing else under new business, I would like to thank our deputy clerk for running the controls this evening, and thank you very much for your input as well. And to all staff for the preparation and the work they did in coming in for the meeting this evening. Councillor Wolvette, we ask you to please be safe and enjoy your time in the north.
Thank you very much. I'll drive slowly. It is still raining here and freezing. As a matter of fact, my mirrors here in the truck are all iced over as my windshield wipers are. So I'll head back up into the camp and enjoy the rest of the week. And thank you for listening to me here tonight.
It's always a pleasure to listen to you, Councillor.
I appreciate you saying that.
Stay safe, Bob.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So just confirmation.
So I have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, that bylaw 123 of 2023 being a bylaw to confirm all resolutions of the council meeting held November the 8th, 2023 be taken as read 3 times, finally passed, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. All those in favor? Carried. And I have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, that the regular council meeting be adjourned until the next regular meeting to be held on November 29th, commencing at 5 p.m. All those in favor? Carried. This meeting is adjourned. For those that were watching us virtually, thank you very much for your attention.